is there a difference in structure regarding and just story mapping ideas in general with sitcoms and maybe a 30-minute dramedy as opposed to the 1 hour drama?
There is, yeah. If you really want to get technical, and the story map breaks this down in the beat sheet. So a 1 hour pilot, the structure is going to be either teaser plus 4 or teaser plus 5.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that's if you're considering the teaser as an act, that's 5 or 6 acts total. And then with a 30-minute, either sitcom or dramedy, it's usually going to be cold open slash teaser. Sometimes they call it cold open, plus 3 acts or plus 4 acts. Your average sitcom, let's say one that I've mapped would be The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix. Mm-hmm. That was teaser plus 3. And then a dramedy like Atlanta on FX, that was teaser plus 4. Maybe you would say, okay, dramedies have a little bit more complex storytelling. That could be the case. As far as the actual pilot script themselves, this is the pilot that you're going to submit to an agent, manager, network executive, producer, whatever. Your 1 hour pilot script is going to be like 54 to 60 pages. I recommend you don't go over 60 pages if you're a newbie. And then a half-hour script, whether sitcom or dramedy, is going to be more in like the 32 to 38 page range. And people ask, okay, well, if I'm writing a network sitcom with commercials, the sitcom actually only ends up being 23 minutes, so should I write a 23-page script? The answer is no. You should still write a 32 to 38-page script, maybe 30, because they're going to end up cutting some material because the actors are going to deliver it faster. I mean, comedy's all about pacing. So that just is the industry standard that you're going to write in that range. Now, if you're a newcomer, I wouldn't say 38 pages. I'd say keep it 32 to 35, something like that,
And do you and all the same ideas as far as a compelling character, the story engine. I mean, because sitcoms are different. Like the sitcom, the
Mm-hmm.
log line just has to kind of like All in the Family. I mean, it's basically that log line. Golden Girls. I'm going old school. Sorry. Or Big Bang Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of nerds trying to figure out life with a hot girl across the hall, essentially, and how that works out. I don't know if that's even the log line. I don't even know what the log line of a show like that is.
Mm-hmm.
But it needs to be very.
The question is, are the elements the same? They're basically the same. I mean, you do have a protagonist who probably has a quirk or a misbehavior,
Mm-hmm.
And they may have Achilles heel, but the stakes aren't as high. Obviously, it's not going to be life or death if it's a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing and then there is a compelling crisis, there's an urgent crisis for that particular pilot episode, okay? So they may be the same, they may not. So like the compelling crisis of, let's say, Big Bang Theory may be these guys trying to negotiate the real world, even though they're the biggest nerds on the planet, and kind of get along with girls, okay, as frontlined by their neighbor. But the urgent crisis of the pilot is that particular story that week, that particular challenge that they have to deal with. And I don't remember the pilot of
I
Big
don't
Bang.
either. Right.
But one thing, if you talk about the 30-minute dramedy, which is the hottest format today, in which you see a lot more shows using that format,
Mm-hmm.
a lot more shows on Netflix using the 30-minute dramedy format, a lot more on Amazon, shows like Dead to Me on Netflix, Love on Netflix, and Atlanta, like I mentioned, Master of None, on different networks. So they really focus on a subculture, and the subculture of the dramedy is really important in those cases. So you really want to drill down into a world that we haven't seen before. Okay, Transparent, for example, it was examining the impact of a parent who is transitioning to another gender and the impact on his adult children. Okay, and that was something we hadn't seen before. It really kind of changed the zeitgeist, and it's a really unique, interesting show. And Transparent, there really was more drama than comedy, although there were some really funny moments. But it was really more like kind of 70% drama, 30% comedy, if you had to,
So like a show like Master of None, what is the subculture there Because I haven't seen the show in a bit, but I'm trying to remember.
Good question. I would say it's the Indian American
All right.
man who, and his family, because we do touch on his parents, and there are flashbacks to his parents in India and coming to America. So it's the Indian American man trying to struggle as an actor. Okay. And then we get into, there's other characters. There's the Lena Waithe character, who's a gay black woman, and her family also is examined. There was a great episode, which I may have won the Emmy, called Three Thanksgivings, and 3 or 4 Thanksgivings. And it goes back in time, kind of showing her coming out of the closet with each Thanksgiving when she was younger with her family. So we examined her family, you know. So it was family dynamics. It was a struggling actor. It was a young guy trying to find a partner, you know, trying to find a woman and settle down. His friends are settling down, and he's still the single guy in the city, kind of trying to grow up, basically. You know, Rami on Hulu is also about a guy trying to grow up in the modern world and become an adult as he lives at home with his family. But the subculture there is Muslim America. So
right.
he's a Muslim. And really, I haven't seen any other show that really had a main character who was a Muslim that was kind of really broke out, you know. And Rami's a great show to look at. That's a great dramedy.